Hey everybody, it's Charlie from DM Sound. Today we've got the sound system demo on the 2023 Volkswagen Golf GTI and its 7-speaker unbranded audio system. This is going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at how the infotainment system works, take a look at audio inputs, adjustments, and controls, look at speaker locations, then we're going to head out on the road and listen to these sample tracks while we're rolling, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Now if you don't care about any of that stuff at the beginning and you just want to hear the music, click ahead in the video. We've got chapters to get you right to the tunes. And I recommend listening with headphones so you can hear exactly what I hear in the driver's seat. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. The S version of the GTI, the cheapest one you can get, especially with this manual transmission. We've shot quite a bit on this car. I forgot to mention right there at the beginning, but we've got a members only sound test if you do want to see more on how this car sounds, as well as interact a little bit and support the channel. Check the link in the description below. We've also got an in-depth breakdown on the infotainment system, a highway fuel economy test, and a full review. All those things will be linked below. Now we always do these tests with lossless, uncompressed WAV files on a USB stick plugged directly into the system, and high-quality Roland binaural microphones in both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo on YouTube. We also do the test with the sound settings set to their factory defaults, so let's take a look at those now. The 8-inch infotainment screen here still works pretty well and gives you a volume knob. Let's go home and then down to sound for our sound settings, and we're greeted with adjustments for bass, mid-range, and treble. Let's go through those. Decent amount of adjustability there, and it's pretty easy to tap them. Below that you have front, rear, left, right, balance, and fader. Move the sound all around, center it back. And then some volume settings. Maximum startup volume, which is nice, so it won't blast you if you were listening to loud music the night before. Speed dependent volume increase, so as you get going faster and there's more road, wind, and engine noise, the music will lift up. And then how much you want the music to lower while you're either parking or getting voice guidance from the navigation. And that's it for audio adjustments. For audio controls in the GTI, you've got a nice volume knob right here. It's got good clicks. If you were on the larger screen system, you'd have a slider control, which I do not care for as much. And you've also got volume sliding and tapping on the left side of the wheel here. For track selection, you'd think this is a tuning knob, but it's actually not. It's a navigation knob that you can use to move around the screen, although not super useful because, like you can see right here, it's not actually letting me select anything, it's just scrolling. So if you choose something like radio and media, and you can scroll through those and actually tap on the track, but other than that, you can't use that knob for all too much. So you gotta use the touch screen if you're in the proper menu, or right here, you can swipe or click for track selection on the right side of the wheel. For audio inputs in the GTI S, in radio, we've only got FM and AM, no Sirius XM. You do have HD radio, of course. Then over in the media, you've got support for USB-C, Bluetooth, and then Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wired only. So what does that mean you're missing? Well, there's no USB-A, there's no Sirius XM, there's no 3.5mm auxiliary input jack, there's no streaming services built in, so no Spotify, Pandora, or anything like that. So you kind of got to work with what you got. Make sure you've got an adapter here, and you got a big old ugly cable going to wherever you keep your phone. So if you wanted to put your phone over here, you're gonna have a cable running across the middle of your way. I guess you can put your phone right down in here on the wireless charger. But again, why have wireless charging if you've got to be plugged in for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto anyway? Speaker locations. As I said, this is a 7-speaker system. Starting in the bottom left, you've got a door woofer there, 1, a tweeter up there, 2, mid-ranger up front, 3, 4, 5 on the other side. And then in the back, you've got these woofers 6 and 7. I gotta say, despite not having a subwoofer, the bass in this car is pretty good, as you'll see later on in the video. Alright, well now that we got that stuff out of the way, let's get out on the road. there are some things this system doesn't do perfectly, but overall, as an unbranded system, I am really, really happy with this. We had the member request tracks going before this, and I was genuinely jamming out. I mean, a mark of a system that I appreciate is just that do I enjoy listening to my music on it? And this is an overwhelming yes. I think they did a really remarkable job with the power coming from these door woofers, and there's a little weirdness on some of the high ends, but overall it's decently crispy and nothing's coming through too harsh, which I also appreciate. So it's really checking a lot of the boxes for me. Speaking of boxes, for this next one, we'll turn the bass all the way up, see how it handles it. Slightest hair of distortion, but I'm still getting mirror shakage, and yeah, it's not rattling the cabin the way it would with a big subwoofer, but I'm really not too mad. Thoughts on the 7-speaker system, unbranded here in the Golf GTI. Initially, when I heard that Volkswagen was taking the Harman Kardon out of a lot of their SE models, I think not the Autobahns, but at least the SEs, because of the chip shortage, I was pretty disappointed. I was like, man, that really stinks. But this is not a bad system. It really isn't. It's not the most accurate, and it's not the most powerful, but like I said earlier, I've enjoyed listening to it, and that's, at the end of the day, what's most important to me. So I'm giving it a solid B. It's, maybe on the lower end of B, maybe it's like an 83, 84%, but I'd have no problem with this being the sound system in my car, and every personal car we own in our family has a sound system worse than this, and this is only the base unbranded system. So, pretty darn good. Good job, Volkswagen, and I think a lot of you who were kind of on the fence of, should I just get this entry-level S trim, or should I spend more to get that Harman Kardon or whatever? Oh my gosh, come on, what is this bus doing in the third to left lane? Anyway, I think you would be happy to know that this is a perfectly fine system to choose. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see... What? Why'd you stop playing? What happened? The controls in the system absolutely kill it. The infotainment, the Everything else sucks about this car, but the sound system's pretty good. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the GTI, check the link in the description, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from DM Sound, and as always, drive on.